This is Carol Roy with Virtual Strategy Magazine live at VMworld 2009. Right now I am joined by a couple gentlemen from Netronome. We have Rolf Neugebauer to the left, and we have Niel, correct? Did I get that right? There we go. My first try. How are you guys doing today? Why don't we start out? You are the CEO, right, Niel? Why don't I ask you this question? Who is Netronome? Tell us about it.
Okay. So Netronome is a silicon startup where we've built a processor which is there to help and aid virtualization in standard server platforms, specifically focused at networking elements thereof.
So, Rolf, let me toss this one to you. How does your technology relate to virtualization?
Well, you develop a network processor which allows you to do a lot of network processing on a device itself. Mm-hmm. What we see today in the virtualization world is a trend for adding more and more functionalities in virtual switches. So you see announcements of the Nexus 1000V, for example, which is a fully managed switch running inside a software inside a system. Had an announcement about adding firewall functionality, for example. Now these functions all require extra CPU resources and server resources to the extent that they're actually taking a lot of cycles away from what the server should actually be doing, which is executing application code. So with a I/O coprocessor like ours, you can basically do that type of network processing on a device on a network device.
So let me bring up a hot topic that's coming up this week, and that's cloud computing. Niel, can you tell us how Netronome can play with cloud computing? What impact do you have on that?
Yeah, so as Rolf has just stated, critical for us is the fact that there's more and more functionality being added to the networking elements of the virtualized servers. This is all causing more load, etc., which is occurring because the software which runs on the standard processors was never designed to fundamentally allow for this to actually take place. And as we add more functionality, the whole thing slows down. Now what happens in cloud computing is that security is the three most important aspects in this regard. That means that we have to deploy all of the traditional network security elements, firewalls, intrusion prevention, access control lists. There's obviously load balancing that becomes important. All of the traditional security elements. But these have to be deployed in a virtualized environment. You cannot do it in sort of a haphazard kind of way, which to a certain extent you can get away with in some enterprise applications. And therefore, the use of our silicon is critical for these big cloud environments in order to have fully virtualized security.
So overall, virtualization and cloud, how does the coprocessor aid the trend? Rolf?
It aids a trend in the sense that you can have a programmable device which you can provide the functionality with you need to do the processing, because the demands on the networking infrastructure change. So there are trends. This year it's ACL. Next year there need to be some support for supporting IPS systems for security and so on and so forth. So having a programmable flexible processor on your device allows you to follow these trends and basically support whatever is around the corner.
Flexibility. That's a key issue because a lot of these things are moving targets today, and therefore you need to be able to change it and update it and upgrade it as time goes by.
Now, the Netronome product has a really rich history. You guys have been around for about 6 years. You have a great history in security. It seems to me to be really a no-brainer for these environments that are virtualized and going to the cloud, no matter what form that cloud takes. How can they purchase your product?
Okay, so obviously we are a supplier to OEMs, so that's why a lot of people, a lot of end users would not have come across us as such. They will be consuming, they may be consuming us our products, I should say, in products from a number of other vendors, because it's essentially incorporated within those platforms. And that is a trend that will continue, and there will be announcements made over the next 6 months and so on of new platforms, etc., that do use our silicon in order to support these virtualized secure environments.
Excellent. Well, you guys, thank you so much for taking some time out of your attendance here at VMworld 2009. We definitely look forward to covering all of the new stuff coming up with you. Best of luck.
Thanks. Appreciate it.